So Gerard, focusing on a large business transaction then, what or who should a buyer be trying to target?
Well, to start with, the buyer needs to articulate its objectives. They could be about delivering value to shareholders, revenue uplift, profit uplift. They might want to achieve a particular turnover so they become a target themselves. They might be leading to an IPO.
All right, so within that organisation then, what would they be looking for?
Well, there might be economies of scale in the acquisition. These could be production cost improvements, using the buyer's excess capacity. It might give the buyer access to a much larger customer base. Additionally, the buyer might be looking for intellectual property, which it hasn't already got.
So Gerard, from a process point of view then, how does a buyer go about managing this acquisition?
No matter what the deal size, a team is involved. In a larger deal, it might involve the managing director, a management or steering committee, and the deal team itself. With other deals, it might be just be the managing director together with the external lawyer and accountant.
So Gerard, how do you go about documenting the process then from a buyer's point of view?
Okay, well, you create a model in which the priorities are dictated by the objectives, and that will work out, what to ask for and who's going to ask for it. We can help you with that model, which covers the field.
Okay, so our buyer has gone out, they've found a target, they've set themselves some objectives, they've picked their team. Now how does the buyer go about getting the deal off the ground?
Well, once a confidentiality agreement is signed, one of the representatives will call the other and say, let's get together. This is often done by way of a courtesy briefing where you have the lawyers, the accountants and the parties together working through how the deal is going to proceed.
So will the buyer then be wanting the owner or the management team from the mob that they've just acquired to stay on ordinarily?
The owner will usually agree to an employment contract unless he set up the business to run completely independently from him. But it's also a good idea for an owner of a business to work out of the business slowly by way of an employment contract.
All right, so what other tips have you got for someone who's contemplating one of these larger purchases?
Grant, communication with customers, suppliers and people in the business is fundamental. People are everything to these businesses. So first of all, you should get us in at the very start. You'll sign a term sheet and it'll have in there, these clauses are binding, and sometimes it'll have these clauses are not binding. Now sometimes that's going to really tie our hands moving forward if we can't walk away from a particular situation without the other party feeling very, very bad about it.